Hello my friends, welcome to this week's Make and Take. This week we are making a little book called My Dragon Hoard, and it's a little art journal which is really cool. On the very front we have this little clear wax seal. It is amazing, and that means that you can actually see through the wax, which is really incredible. And then on the inside we have all these little fun pages, and the pages have pockets. Ha ha ha! It's amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, my friends. Okay, so you're gonna need some scissors, you're gonna need some white glue, and you're going to need some double-sided tape. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our materials together, and we are going to get out our little kit here and put this together. All right, so in your little kit, you will see all of these fun little bits and pieces, but first thing we're going to do is we are going to do some bookbinding, which you probably were not prepared to do, but that's okay. You don't need any special materials. Everything really is pretty much included here. So this right here, this little twine, this is waxed linen. It's kind of a gray color. So what we have, these are paper bags actually, and I took the paper bags. These are a bag that when you open it up and the bottom is gusseted, I actually cut the gusseted end off. So then that way both ends open up. So it's kind of like one giant tube. See, you can see right through that. But it's really cool because when you bind it, then you have pockets on either side, but these could also be pages that you could decorate, which is great. So you're gonna put those two bags together, and when you do so, you see these tiny, tiny, tiny little holes right in the middle there, one right here and one right there, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna line up the holes, and you're gonna take the waxed linen, and it's kind of pointy, right? So it's not just gonna fray on you. And you're just gonna slide that through the hole right there, going through both bags, okay? Then you're gonna find your inside of your book here, and you want the gold to be on the front of the book, these little gold dots. And you're gonna see two dots on the seam right there on the book. And you're gonna take that little string and go through the same hole on the top on the black page, okay? So now you've gone through bag one, bag two, and the base of the book. So we have that there. The rest of the string is here. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Then you're gonna take this guy and you're gonna go back in. So we're gonna go opposite direction. So there's a hole right here. You slide that in there. This is where it's gonna be a little hard to follow me, but hopefully you can still see. Then you have the hole right here for the bag one and the hole right here for bag two. Okay, so once you have that, you flip this over. You're gonna grab both ends there. There we are, pull those through, make sure those are nice and tight, but we aren't ripping the pages. And then you're gonna bring that to the center. You're gonna pull tight, and then I kind of twist like that, so then that way it doesn't wanna come undone. Luckily the waxed linen likes to hold, so it's not going to suddenly come unraveled. And then we're gonna tie a knot. All right, you're gonna pull tight. There we are, so now you've bound your book. You guys just bound a book. Isn't that amazing? Really not super difficult, but really, really cool. Okay, now we have dragon skin paper. This is handmade paper. It is amazing. It is amazing. I absolutely freaking love it. It's so, so, so cool. So we're gonna be doing that, and then we also have our satin ribbon right here. This is gonna be the tie so we can tie our book closed, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna need a little piece of double-sided tape. So I'm gonna pull off a piece that's maybe about 1 inch long. It doesn't need to be very long. And what we're gonna do is we're actually going to put that, we're gonna find the middle of the binding side. We're gonna sit that right down there in the middle. It's only on there about halfway. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I'm gonna go over that twine that we just bound our book with, and we're gonna stick that in place right there on that side, all right? Then we're gonna peel this away, just that top film, so it's sticky. Then we're going to take our ribbon. We're going to find the halfway mark, roughly. So this is about halfway of my ribbon. I'm gonna bring this to that side. I'm going to stick it on the double-sided tape. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if you can still see some tape. It's all right if it's not perfect. It doesn't really matter. All right, now we're gonna set that to the side. We have our dragon skin paper. On the back side here, we're going to use white glue. I highly recommend you use PVA, which is what I'm using. I'm squirting some out. I'm honestly probably squirting out way too much glue. I'm just going to apply glue onto half of my handmade paper there. Now I'm going to take my paper, and I'm not going to fold it, but I'm just going to kind of press the two sides together and really smear around that glue so that it's nice and saturated that whole side. This is a technique I sometimes use when I don't want to get out a brush or I don't want it to be very messy. And there we are. All of that is all glued. Oh, I could probably apply a little bit more glue down here too. All right, so it's all nice and gooey on that side. Now I'm going to bring this actually to the edge of my table. So I know this might be a little hard to see here, but we're gonna say that this is like the edge of the table, okay? So we're gonna bring that to the edge of the table, and I'm gonna stick this on halfway onto that binding, okay? So only half of the dragon skin paper is going to be stuck to the binding. So that's going to be stuck on there. Hold on, I'm going to flip this over so you can see what I did. Oh goodness. Oh, this actually might be easier. We're going to lay that down, sticky side up. We're going to stick this on here on the binding side so that only half of it is actually stuck to the book. Okay, we're going to press that down. Then you're going to bring this around from the back side, and you're just going to wrap that around and just stick it down. All right, so now you have your dragon skin is on the left side. Ah, oh my gosh, I love it. I'm really, 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 really satisfied with this craft this week, you guys. I had so much fun making it. All right, once that dries, we're gonna trim off the ends a little bit, but we're gonna let that dry for the moment. Okay, now, while I'm decorating the front, I'm gonna go ahead and just tie my book closed, and I'm just gonna tie it with a bow. And what's great about doing an art journal is that you can put all sorts of cool stuff in here, but then you can tie it closed, which is fantastic. All right, now we have this amazing clear wax seal. So this is actually dragons that are printed on text weight paper. We cut that little circle out, and then we did the clear wax on top and pressed the seal in place. Okay, so what we're going to do here, because we have the clear wax seal, we are actually going to just be gluing it with white glue directly onto the front of our book. Normally when you're gluing a wax seal, it's waxy on the back side, and so the glue will not want to bond to it, but I specifically created these for you so it would be easy to stick down. So I'm just going to use a little bit of white glue. So now we're going to use the white glue just on the back side of the seal, and I'm just going to put a little bit right on the back. I don't want to use too much. And then I'm going to lay this down. You can put this wherever you would like. I'm going to put my little seal down here in the bottom right-hand corner because I love that. Then we have this little sentiment that says, "My Dragon Hoard." Of course, you could just tape that directly on the front, but it's a little bit more exciting if we make it look a little textured. So what I'm going to do is actually going to take my fingers here, and I'm just going to rip around this all of the little words here because it just makes it look more magical and exciting, and kind of like you have an old-timey hoard that you're collecting in your art journal. So I'm going to rip all the way around the outside here. So it looks like that. Now, because this is really thin paper, you can use white glue, but I actually recommend you use double-sided tape. So this double-sided tape is really easy to use. I'm just going to peel this off and rip it and stick it down. And I have another piece I'm just going to rip and stick in place. Then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to peel away the excess film, just like we did before. That's sticky on the back side, and we're just going to go ahead and stick that down right on the front of our book, and it says "My Dragon Hoard." Yes, excellent. All right, so now for the inside of the book, these are all of our pages. So you have these 4 little tabs with a different dragon on each little tab, and so I'm going to put 4 down. So we're going to have each page, right? We can trim these little strings in the center if you would like, or you can keep them if you want to keep them. Oh gosh, these scissors I'm using are not amazing. Hold on, I chose wrong scissors for cutting my ribbon. Bear with me, friends. Bear with me while I make a small repair. There we go. All right, we'll use sharper scissors for trimming my waxed linen. There we are. Perfect. Okay, so for every page, we are going to put on a little tab on the right-hand side, okay? So to do that, I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of glue. I really don't want very much. Then I'm going to stick my little tab. I'm only going about halfway onto the little page there. And then I have my next one, and we're going to do the next color. So I'm just going to go a little bit lower and lay this guy down, about halfway onto the circle. My next page, we're going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to lay my next color down, this little gold one. It's about halfway onto the page. And then I'm going to do my last one, and we're going to do that down here. Again, about halfway onto the page as well. All right, there we are. All right, my friends, so now we have our Dragon Hoard book, and then these open up and there's little pockets, so then you can tuck in all of your little amazing treasures and your collections, or create dragon art on the pages. You could paint with like gesso, and then you could use other paint pens to do art. You could just do watercolors. You could just have fun. You can do drawings, whatever your heart desires. And then when you're all ready to take it home or move on to your next adventure, you're going to tie this into a little bow that's going to lock everything in place. And there we have our amazing Dragon Hoard art journal. Yes, oh, we were gonna trim our little ends here. To trim those, I'm just gonna close my book and just use my scissors to trim that. There we are, perfect. And we're all set to go, friends. Thanks for joining me for this week's Make and Take. Hope you guys have a fun day. We'll see you soon, bye-bye.